hit by the impact of the worst drought in 60 years and with tax revenues and investments off target by the tens of billions, Finance Minister UHURU Kenyatta remains optimistic that 2011 would register what he describes as strong economic growth, and 2012's GDP growth should be above 5%. 2011 saw the highest government spending outlay in the country's history, and according to the Finance Minister, it's now time to trim the fat and narrow the gap between government revenue and government spending, which in technical terms is also known as the fiscal deficit.
These austerity measures seek to achieve, amongst other things, the following in the medium term: to bring down our budget deficit from 6.1% of GDP in 2011-12 to 5.1% of GDP by 2014-15.
UHURU Kenyatta essentially wants to put the big spending government he's helped to create since 2009 on a diet. But he's got several challenges ahead. To finance his budget for this financial year, he planned to borrow about 236.2 billion shillings, or about 7.4% of GDP, from foreign and domestic sources. Now, if he's to trim that deficit in the next financial years, tax revenues need to rise, and by December 30th, 2011, he was off target by a massive 49.4 billion shillings. Further compromising his revenue stream is an ongoing standoff with members of parliament over a proposal to cap interest rates on lending from commercial banks. Since the finance bill has not been passed, tax measures imposed since July 2011 have lapsed, dropping his revenues. The non-passage of the VAT bill also limits growth of the Kenyan tax base as a whole, and by extension, whatever revenues he would have had if the bill had been passed by October as planned. Also complicating the passage of the VAT bill are proposals to raise taxes and, by extension, prices of basic commodities like maize and wheat grain. These challenges notwithstanding, the Finance Minister aims to not only cut the fiscal deficit from 6.1% of GDP in 2012 to 5.1% by June 2015, he also aims to cut inflation to an average of 5% by then. Given that by December 30th, however, the Ministries of Agriculture and Water had only spent 34% and 42% respectively of the development budget, UHURU's efforts to rein in food inflation seem to have gotten off to a very slow start. All told, Kenya's Chief Finance Officer is painting a picture of a rosy economic future that his current performance simply cannot justify. For KIS TV, I'm Ramanyan.